She's an Oscar winner, a mother of 6, a UN ambassador, a survivor. But before the red carpets and global applause, there was pain, rebellion, and a search for self. This is the untold story of Angelina Jolie, a warrior in heels. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Because this isn't just a celebrity story. It's a journey through fire and back.
I was born into a world I didn't choose, one lit by flashbulbs and expectations. The name Jolie carried weight, and with it came eyes that watched too closely, compared too harshly. My father, charismatic to the world, absent to me, left behind a silence that shaped my childhood more than his words ever could. I often wondered if I was chasing his legacy or running from it. Either way, I was already in a race before I even learned how to walk. In school, I wasn't the prom queen or the social butterfly. I was the girl sitting in the back, headphones on, sketching bruised angels in the margins of my notebook. People saw the black clothes, the piercings, the edge, but not the girl who cried into her pillow, feeling like a misfit in her own skin. I didn't want to be admired. I just wanted to be understood. They said I was acting out. I was carving poetry into my skin, wearing a drop of blood around my neck, kissing with fire, living recklessly. But what looked like rebellion was just pain in disguise. I wasn't looking to be different. I was screaming to be seen. And sometimes the only way to feel alive is to burn. Acting was my escape. When I stepped onto a set, I could shed my skin and become someone else. Someone brave, loved, broken in a different way. Gia wasn't just a role, it was a mirror. Playing her meant facing the very parts of myself I'd tried to bury. And when the credits rolled, I felt exposed, but also, for the first time, real. They handed me an Oscar and everyone cheered, but in the quiet of my hotel room, trophy in hand, I stared into the mirror and asked, "Is this what worth feels like?" Fame gave me a stage, but no script for who I was behind it. I was a collection of headlines and hollow smiles, longing for something I couldn't name. I hit bottom without even realizing I was falling. The darkness wasn't sudden, it crept in quietly, disguised as insomnia, self-loathing, numbness. My thoughts grew louder than any applause. I needed help, not another camera in my face. Therapy didn't fix me overnight, but it handed me a flashlight in the dark. The first time I held Maddox, something in me cracked open, like a door I didn't know existed. His tiny hand wrapped around my finger, and just like that, I wasn't lost anymore. I was his mother. Every decision, every breath, every future I dreamed revolved around that little boy's smile. I began to understand love not as a feeling, but a responsibility. Loving Brad was like loving a mirror, reflecting both our beauty and our chaos. We built a home in faraway lands. We danced with our children in dusty kitchens. But love in the spotlight is like fire in the wind. It flickers, it burns, it tests everything. The world watched our every move. But they never saw the quiet mornings, the whispered apologies, the raw truths. I walked through refugee camps with a notepad in my hand and tears in my eyes. I met children who had lost everything, yet still smiled. Women who carried trauma with more grace than any red carpet gown I'd ever worn. I stopped acting for applause and started speaking for those who had no voice. My fame found its purpose. When I faced the possibility of cancer, I looked at my children's faces and made the hardest decision of my life. The mastectomy wasn't just about survival, it was about reclaiming my power. I wrote about it not to be brave, but because I was afraid. And I knew other women were too. Our scars do not shame us, they prove us. Behind the lens, I discovered a new kind of healing. I told stories of war, of women, of wounds that don't bleed but ache forever. In the land of blood and honey was my letter to the world, a cry against violence, a plea for empathy. Directing taught me that sometimes the quietest voices hold the loudest truths. People said we were perfect, but perfection doesn't exist behind closed doors. We fought hard, we loved harder, but some storms are meant to break things. The divorce felt like failure, but for me, it was also a promise to never stop protecting my children, even if it meant standing alone in the rubble. I walk red carpets not for vanity, but for visibility. I bring my children with me because I want them to know we stand tall together. That strength isn't hiding your story, it's owning it. We are not a broken family. We are a growing one, stitched together by choice, by truth, and by love. They call me strong like it's armor, but strength is heavy. Some nights I cry for no reason. Some days I miss who I used to be, but I'd rather feel everything than feel nothing. Being strong doesn't mean never falling. It means standing up again, with messy hair and tear-streaked cheeks. I don't know what's next. I'm still learning, still grieving, still laughing, still becoming. The woman I was at 20 wouldn't recognize me now, and that's okay. Evolution is painful, but it's also beautiful. If my journey means anything, I hope it shows you this. You are allowed to change, and you are worthy at every stage of becoming.
Angelina Jolie's story isn't about perfection, it's about presence. She's loved wildly, lost deeply, and stood fiercely for those without a voice. She reminds us, you don't have to be whole to be powerful. You just have to keep walking. So what part of Angelina's journey hit home for you? Let us know in the comments. You'd. And remember, this dramatized story is meant to inspire, not define. Everyone's journey is different, and every scar tells a story.